All right. So this is actually exercise 9.2. Third question. In the given figure, I hope all of you did the homework, huh? In the given figure, ABC is a straight line. Provide answers based on the information in the figure. One of the figure information, we can see, okay, this line and this line are parallel. Then this part and this part are equal. At the same time, this part and this part are also equal. Find the value of BAE. BAE can be plus BCD. That is this. Okay. Okay, it's okay. We'll discuss. Now, how do we do this question? How did
Excuse
you?
me, miss.
Yes, Ismail.
It's not BEA, it's BAE.
All right, BAE. Thank you so much. BAE. This one. All right. BAE and BCD. So we have to find the sum of these two. What is the sum of these two? BAE plus BCD na tawat lesi atama kiwot.
It's since it's allied angles of a straight line, it's 180.
Correct. So when there are two parallel lines and there's a line between them, we know we have learned three types of angles, right? Let's say these two are parallel and this and these alternate angles, then this and these alternate angles. We said alternate angles between parallel lines are equal. Then this and this corresponding angles, this and this again corresponding angles, this and this again corresponding angles. This and this again corresponding angles. F shape, they're equal. Then, so alternate angles are equal, corresponding angles are equal, but allied angles, they are not equal. But when you add, they become 180. May I add karham, it will be 180. May I add karham, it will be 180. So we have two parallel lines. Clearly, this and this are parallel. In a C shape, allied angles, so yes, I'll quickly write this. BAE plus BCD equals 180. You can directly write, but you have to write the reason properly. Reason allied angles between parallel lines. Is that clear, Lamai? Then they're asking us to show that, okay. Then they're asking us to show that DBE is 90 degrees. So DBE can menna mea. Menna meawa api 90 degrees kala pennando. Okay. So how do we do this? This is quite interesting. Karad me question ko bola. And how did you get the answer? Okay. So directly make dakagama uganda hitenne mehema. Right? Which is correct. So if you look at this triangle, we can see this side and this side are equal. Right? That means it is an isosceles triangle and apidano isosceles triangle ekaka base angles are equal. So mama menna mehema liyana. So mama triangle ek topic එක දාන්නම් so that when somebody looks at my question, it will be easier for them to understand. For an example, now you are looking at the answer I'm writing, so it will be easier for you to understand. A mindset එකම තමයි උගන්න තියෙන්න ඕනේ when you're writing answers for the examiner to correct, right? Anyways, triangle is ABE. I'll just put a topic so it's easy to understand. So we know AEB plus ABE plus EAB equals 180. All right. At the same time, now we know AEB and ABE are equal. Right. So, but AE equals AB. Make a reason yeah? Sum of interior angles of a triangle. So make it you write given. Therefore, if two sides are equal, it's an isosceles triangle, then angles opposite to the two sides are also equal. Therefore, AEB equals ABE. Reason, angles opposite to equal sides in an isosceles triangle. එහෙනම් මට මෙයාවම ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Since AEB and ABE are equal, instead of AEB, I write ABE. So ABE plus ABE plus EAB. EAB කියන්නේ BAE නේ මම මෙයා BAE කියලා ලියන්නේ it's the same thing නම චුට්ටක් මාකට් එක වෙනස් කරන විතරයි. BAE. I have a reason for that. BAE equals 180. Now ABE plus ABE means 2ABE equals 180. This BAE, when you bring it to the other side, it becomes minus BAE. Therefore, ABE can be right. ABE equals 180 minus BAE divided by 2. Up to that point, is it clear? So what I found is this angle. මෙන්න මෙයාව තමයි මම හොයාගත්තා. ඔක්කොම erase කරලා මම ඔන්න මෙයා ගැන idea එකක් ගත්තා. I found a rough estimate of this angle. Is that clear to all of you? Give me a thumbs up. What I did here. Others? All right. Okay. Now let's move on to this triangle, which is also an isosceles triangle. Right, that is also an isosceles triangle. So I will put the topic BCD. BCD. Same way, BCD plus BDC plus CBD, which are the interior angles, when you add, they become 180. Ek reason sum of interior angles of a triangle, you have to write. I'm not writing, but you have to write. Now, this is an isosceles triangle. BC side and CD side are equal. But, BC side equals CD side given. Therefore, what are the base angles here? May I? CBD and BDC. Therefore, BDC equals CBD. Here, for reason, you can write angles opposite to equal sides in an isosceles triangle. Then, so here, I will rewrite this BCD plus here. Now, BDC and CBD are equal, right? Therefore, instead of here BDC, here instead of CBD, I still write BDC equals 180. Which means BCD plus 2BDC equals 180. Up to this point, is it clear line? Because I'm going to do something else now. Up to this point, is it clear? Okay. ඔන්න මම දැන් පොඩි වැඩක් කරනවා. හොඳට බලන්න. මෙතන ඉහාට මම අනේ මේකත් කම්ප්ලීට් කළෙමුකෝ. Otherwise, it'll be a little confusing. Now, 2BDC, මම මෙහෙමම තියලා BCD මම මේ පැත්තට අරන්. So that becomes 180 minus BCD. Then BDC, which is, we're talking about, wait. චුට්ටකින් ළමයි. මෙතන අපි මෙන්න මෙහෙම වැඩක් කරමු. Here BDC equals CBD ne. So මෙතන BDC වෙනුවට I write CBD because anyway is equal. So I write CBD plus CBD. Then I have 2CBD. Then CBD equals 180 minus BCD divided by 2. Up to that point, it's clear for all of you, right? All right. Now here, අපි කිව්වා නේද BAE plus BCD equals 180 කියලා. මම ඒක චුට්ට මෙතන use කරනවා. See what I'm doing. Here, BAE plus BCD equals 180. So BCD equals 180. May BAE hapathagensha minus BAE venom. Did you understand that one? එහෙනම් මෙතන what was that? එහෙනම් මෙතන in this case BCD වෙනුවට මට මෙයාව 180 minus BAE කියන එක ලියන්න පුළුවන්, right? So මෙයාවම මට ලියන්න පුළුවන්. You will see what I'm trying to get to. චුට්ටක් patiently බලන් ඉන්න. CBD equals 180 minus BCD. Now BCD is equal to 180 minus BAE. So I write instead of BCD 180 minus BAE and divided by 2. So CBD equals 180 minus times plus is minus. So minus 180 minus times minus is plus. Plus BAE divided by 2. Can you see here plus 180 and minus 180 cancel vela? We are getting that CBD equals BAE divided by 2. All right, up to that point, is it clear, Lamai? Okay. Others? Now comes the interesting part. Let's go back to the question. ඒගොල්ලන් කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ angle එක 90 degrees කියලා පෙන්වන්න කියලා. අපි දන්නවා මේ තුනම add කරොත් 180 වෙනවා because this is a straight line, right? අපි ඒක ලියමු. මෙතන ABE plus DBE plus CBD equals 180. අපි ඒක ලියමු. So this is, now we're doing the star of the question, the important, interesting part where everything comes together now. ABE plus DBE plus CBD add කරාම එනවා 180. එහෙම එන්නේ because we are talking about angles on a straight line. So බලන්න ABE වෙනුවට, now ABE is equal to this, right? ABE is equal to this. So I can write, instead of ABE, I can write 180 minus BAE divided by 2. Then we have DBE as usual. Then CBD මෙතන අපි prove කරා CBD කියන්නේ BAE divided by 2. BAE divided by 2 equals 180. Now මම DBE පැත්තකින් ලියලා because එයාට divided by 2 කියලා එකක් නැහැනේ but අනිත් දෙන්නටම තියෙනවා right? So මෙයාවයි I can write as a common denominator. Here 180 minus BAE. Here we just have plus BAE. දැන්ටත් ඔයගන්ට පේනවා ඇති කොහොමද මේ question එක හරියන්නේ කියලා. දැන් පේනවා කියන්නේ good නා. See plus BAE minus BAE cancel වෙනවා. So we have DBE plus here 180 divided by 2 is 90 equals 180. Then DBE කියන්නේ this 90 I'm going to bring it to other side. It becomes 180 minus 90. Then DBE equals 180 minus 90 which is 90. That is how we prove that this is in fact a right angle. තේරුණාද? Others, is it clear? Alia, Basma, Ismail, Kushit, Javindu. All right, I'll give you 2 minutes for recorrection because this is quite a lengthy question. ඒක කරන අතරේ මට කවුරුද කියන්නේ 9.2 එකේ 356 ඊට පස්සේ 9.3 එකේ මොන හරි දුන්නද?
No, miss. Only 9.2 you get.
Right, only 9 point. Okay. Okay, quickly do recorrections. I'll set a timer for 2 minutes. Let's move fast. All right, time is up. Let's move on to fifth question, right? Let me get the fifth question to the whiteboard. Now, in the fifth question, we don't have a diagram. They have only given us a question, just the words, just the statements only. So that means we have to draw the diagram by ourselves. There's a mosquito who's like bothering me so much. And that mosquito is literally like transparent. So I can't really spot it. And I don't usually kill mosquitoes. I have nothing to do. I'm just trying to chase it away, but I also can't see it or find it. It's just transparent, like a, not exactly transparent, but like a very sort of like a very light black, like a brown sort of a color. So magi skin color එකත් එක්ක camouflage වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, so I can't really spot the mosquito. But you know, sometimes දැන් මේ මං ඉන්න තැන පොඩ ගහ පැත්තේ කැලයක් වගේ තියෙනවා, so that's why those are අපි කියන්නේ කැලෑම් මදුරුව කියලා. So probably that, because usually when I'm in Colombo, there are like these big mosquitoes and very sort of developed mosquitoes, I feel like. Maybe because maybe they're adapted to the environment. ඔගලන් දන්නව නේද දැන් mosquitoes වගේ animals, not just mosquitoes, actually almost all animals, they usually get adapted to the environment they're in. Now, if you take 10-20 years back, citronella දන්නවද ඔගලන්? පැංගිරි තෙල් කියලා කියන්නේ අපි සිංහලෙන්. Pangiri tail, then there's Pangiri sprays. So if you take like 10 years ago, citronella actually works a lot for mosquitoes. So citronella infused sprays are there, then citronella oil is there. Have you heard of Pangiri tail? No? Pangiri tail done that? Yeah. What about others? So එතකොට මේ ඊට ඒත් දැන් now like some time back, this is I'm talking about like 10 years back වගේ සමහරට ගොඩක් අය වැඩ කරනවා. But if you take like nowadays, even citronella is not strong enough for most of the mosquitoes because they are getting adapted. ඒගොල්ලන් දන්නවා දැන් අපි citronella use කරනවා කියලා ඒගොල්ලන් body එකෙන් adapt වෙනවා ඒකට. එහෙම තමයි ඕනම සත්තු, all the other animals and humans who are also animals, that's how we evolve, if you know what I mean. Like back in the days, mosquito mosquito coil එක, mosquito coil works like wonders. No, mosquito coil එක හොඳ නැහැ එක. It's not good for our respiratory system, but it works very well. But then mosquito coil එකවත් සමහර මදුරුවන්ට වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. Because I think a few weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks back, I went to one of my friend's place. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ගේ වටේම කැලයක් තියෙන, so there were a lot of mosquitoes, but they were like big fat black mosquitoes. So since there were so many mosquitoes, they even have these vaporizers. Vaporizers are again not good, but they also use vaporizers and ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඇතුළේ mosquito nets දාලා හැම මට mosquito net එක නිදාගන්න හරි අමාරුයි, but they have no choice because there's a lot of mosquitoes. So අපි පොඩක් සාලේ living area එක වගේ හිටියේ, so obviously the windows and the doors were open and there were so many mosquitoes inside. And they lit a mosquito coil. Coil එකටවත් යන්නේ නැහැ. Coil එක ළඟම ඉන්නවා mosquitoes ලා. Can you imagine that? Because the coil is extremely strong compared to like Pangiri tail or vaporizers. ඒ වගේ නෙවෙයි, coil එක හරියම සැරයි. අපිටත් සැරයි, mosquitoes එකටත් සැරයි. But even near the coil, I could see mosquitoes flying around. I was like, that's proper adaptation now. Okay. So does that mean it's time to make something stronger? I don't know. Because අපි strong දෙයක් හදනකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට strong response එකක් develop කරගන්න over the years. That's how it is, right? That's how all organisms are. So it's nothing surprising, but that happens, yes. ඕනම එකක් එහෙම තමයි. දැන් ඔය you know, if you take elephants, that you know the human elephant conflict, right? මිනිස්සුන්ගේ elephant like ලොකු conflict එකක් තියෙනවානේ, especially in dry areas. Because of villages වලට ඇවිල්ලා පයින්නවා, farms destroy කරනවා. So ඒක ඇත්තටම elephants අර blame කරන්න බෑ. Even though we blame elephants, it's our fault completely. We took their land, right? අපි elephants ගේ land එක අරගෙන we established these farmlands, houses and all that. So elephants lost their home. So where else could they go? And the other thing is that මම මේ නියම කියන්න ඕනේ elephants normally මේ පාරට කැමිල්ලක දැන් ඔයගලන් මේ වාහනවල එහෙම යනකොට ඔය දඹුල්ල පොළොන්නරු ඒ වගේ පැතිවල කතරගම යනකොට එලිෆන්ට්ස් එනවනේ පාරට කැමිල් එනවනේ ඒක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ නැචරල් ෆීචර් එකක් නෙවෙයි ඒගොල්ලන් එහෙම ඉස්සර කරපු කටිය නෙවෙයි but අපි කැම දීලා ඒගොල්ලන්ව හුරු කරලා now it's an adaptation for them ඒගොල්ලන් adaptation එකක් විදිහට develop කරගෙන කැම ඕන නම් I have to go to the road is where human beings go. So කැම ඕන රෝඩ් එකට යන්න ඕනේ කියන එක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ mindset එක හැදිලා තියෙනවා. So that's why they often come to the road. Although it could be fun feeding them, but there's also obviously a risk. ඔගන් සුට්ටක් හරි elephant piss off කරොත් elephants are not bad animals actually, they are quite innocent. But ඒගොල්ලන් සමහරට අපි innocently කරන දෙයක් වුණත් ඒගොල්ලන්ට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට threat එකක් කියලා. Then they kind of get violent and try to attack. So, like a few years ago, that famous actor Jackson Anthony, he died from an elephant attack. So sometimes, very unexpectedly, it could happen. So it's always better to be careful. So animals are always adapting, and you don't even realize it, but we as human beings are also constantly adapting to our environment. Okay. Ismail, I'll check this question. Mama, then make ilang discuss karala. While you guys are doing the recorrections, I'll check out this one. It seems right. Okay. TPC FP EBD. Okay, I'll check this. All right. AB equals AC in the triangle ABC. Okay, that means we need a triangle ABC. මං හරියට දන්නේ නැහැ මම හරියටද draw කරන්න කියලා දැනට මට තේරෙන විදිහට I'm going to draw. Later on we can see if this is correct or not. We can change it. Just a sketch. We have a triangle ABC. AB equals AC. The points PQ and R lie on the sides AB, BC and AC respectively. මේ පැත්තේ තියෙනවා PQ මම එක්ස්ට්‍රා කිරියස් ගන්නවා. මේ පැත්තේ තියෙනවා PE. හරියට කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ කියන්නේ just points lying on these sides, right? Then BC කියන side එකේ we have Q and AC කියන side එකේ we have R. Such that BP equals CQ. BP කියන්නේ මෙයා එයා equal to CQ ට. And I'll just mark it like this. BQ කියන්නේ we'll have to draw a line here. BQ means we'll have to draw a line equals CR. Oh, yes. Excuse me. Yes, Q is supposed to be on BC, correct. Okay, so this is actually Q and this is R, so that changes everything else. So what they're saying as equal are in fact, again, let's go BP and CQ. BP is here, CQ is here. So BP is equal to CQ. Then harine. Anith එක තමයි BQ equals CR. BQ is this. BQ is this. CR is this. All right. Draw a figure with the information included in it. Mama AB equals AC කියන එක mark කරේ නැහැ මෙතන because චුට්ටක් complicated වෙන හින්දා, but let's keep that in mind. So this is how we drew the figure. Roman number 2. Prove that triangle PBQ would be this one, is congruent to triangle QRC. So this is PBQ and this is QRC. We have to prove that they are congruent. What is the case that you would use for this? What is the case that you would use for this?
SAS.
SAS, correct. Sides, okay, included angle, like we know this and this are equal because this is an isosceles triangle. This side and this side are equal. Angles opposite to the equal sides are also equal. Okay, so we know how to write a congruency case. Let's write the topic PBQ and QRC. So PB equals QC and BQ equals CR. They have given that, no? So I'll write the reason as given. Angles PBQ equals QCR. That is, you can write the reason as angles opposite to equal sides in an isosceles triangle. So because of that, we can say triangle PBQ is congruent to triangle QRC under the SAS case. Is this clear, Lamai? Please give me a thumbs up. All right. Then the next question is also not that difficult. It's quite easy. We have to prove that QPR, when we'll have to join these two lines. Angle part once more, sure. Angle part ke, then balanna. They have given that AB is equal to AC. So AB is this big one, this long line that is equal to AC. If AB is equal to AC, that means we're talking about an isosceles triangle. Do you remember isosceles triangle theorem? In an isosceles triangle, there are two sides that are equal. No? Then angles opposite to these two sides also become equal. These two angles are equal. Is that clear, Shweta? All right, great. Okay, then QPR equals QRP. QPR can mea, QRP can mea. We have to show that these two are equal. Okay. This is not that difficult. Why? Because now we have proved that this triangle and this triangle are congruent. If these two triangles are congruent, අපිට මෙහෙම කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? Side PQ and side QR, are they equal? PQ කියන්නේ මෙයා, QR කියන්නේ මෙයා. Are they equal? Why? Why are they equal? Why is the side P? Yes.
Is the corresponding sides of a congruent triangle?
Very good. Corresponding sides of a congruent triangles. Because if two triangles are congruent, every element of one triangle is equal to the corresponding element in the other triangle. So, corresponding sides of congruent triangles. Now, if PQ and QR are equal, can you see that PQR triangle is an isosceles triangle? Ek peenawada ogalanta. Therefore, can you see that triangle PQR is an isosceles triangle, lamai? If two sides are equal, it's an isosceles triangle. Yes. And we know in an isosceles triangle, when two sides are equal, angles opposite to these sides also become equal. Meat opposite in no mea, meat opposite in no mea. In an isosceles triangle, we know definitely two sides are equal. The angles opposite to the two sides are also equal. එහෙනම් අපිට කෙලින්ම කියන්න පුළුවන් therefore QPR equals QRP. And for reason you write angles opposite to equal sides of an isosceles triangle. Is that clear to all of you? Is this question clear? Okay. I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you all quickly do recorrections? Make it real fast. Done, Lamai? Okay, 1 minute. Okay, sure. Others okay? I'll give you 1 more minute quickly. Okay, I think that's enough time. What's the next question? Sixth, sixth, seventh,
Six.
sixth. All right, sixth. Again, we have a question without a diagram. Okay. In the triangle ABC, B is a right angle. හරි. මම මුලින්ම triangle එකක් ඇඳලා ඉන්නවා දැන්. මට ඕනෙම information එකක් තියෙනවා B is a right angle. That makes it so much easier. So, ඔයගලන් කොයි side එකට අඳිද කියලා, so triangle you can draw it in multiple different orientations, right? So this is the orientation that I'm drawing. Maybe you could draw it in a different orientation. It's okay, right? So this is anyways a triangle ABC where B is a right angle. So therefore, let's say this is B, this is the right angle. So this is A. In my triangle, this is C. BD has been drawn perpendicular to AC. So we have drawn a point BD perpendicular to AC. Okay. The point E lies on AC such that CE equals CB. Point E lies on AC. So E could be here or E could be here. අපිට හරියටම ෂුවර් නැහැ E කොතන. I mean on AC කිව්වහම where exactly on AC කියන එක අපිට එච්චර නෝට් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. බලන්න නිකන් questions ටික අපි go through කරමු. Draw a figure හරි. Prove that ABD is bisected by BE. ABD කියන්නේ මේ angle එක යාව BE ගෙන් bisect වෙනවා කියලා පෙන්නන්න. එහෙම පෙන්නන්න නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් E should be somewhere here. From that we can confirm E මෙතන නෙවෙයි තියන්නේ. E තියන්නේ මෙතන. All right. CE can equals CB කියලා තියෙනවා. So this is the figure that I drew with whatever information I have. Prove that ABD is bisected by BE. So I'll also draw BE. Just a line here. Okay. So if I want to prove that ABD can මේ ලොකු angle එක එයාව bisect වෙනවා නම් BE ගෙන්, that means this small angle and this small angle should be equal. So that is what we have to prove. We have to prove that these two angles are equal. Okay. Hari. That එකපාරට මේක ඔලුවට යන්නේ නැහැ, but whatever we see, we'll write. So for an example, they say that CE equals CB. So then and there we have an isosceles triangle. Hari. එහෙනම් අපි ඒක මුලින් ලියමු. CE equals CB given therefore triangle CBE is an isosceles triangle. එහෙනම් මට කියන්න පුළුවන් මේ angle එකයි මේ angle එකයි equal because we know angles opposite to equal sides are equal. Therefore, තාම මම දන්නේ නැහැ. I'll just write whatever I see. CBE equals CEB. We write angles opposite to equal sides of an isosceles triangle. Okay, ඔන්න මම දැක්කා. I wrote that, right? Okay, so then hi. What else can we see here? What are the other things that we can see here? අපිට තාම අපිට ඕන තැනට අපි තාම ආවේ නැහැ. What we want to prove is what I have marked in blue. Give me 1 second. ඔයගලන් answer එක ලියපු විදිහ මට කියන්න. Give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm really sorry. I took a few minutes. Okay. So can y'all hear me? Are y'all there?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Okay. So mm, just to get into the okay. So අපි දැන් කී හිටියේ CE equals CB, so it's an isosceles triangle. Therefore, CBE angle equals CEB angle. Now, අපිට මොකද්ද මෙතන prove කරන්න තියෙන්නේ? Okay. So what I have marked in blue, I have to prove that these two angles are equal. This is a bit of a difficult question, I would say, and I think you may have had different approaches for this question. කොහොමද ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ question එක කරේ? I'm actually very interested in finding out. Unfortunately, we are in a virtual class, but you can still communicate. Unmute කරලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. What do you think? What was your approach?
So Miss, what I did was, since BC equals EC, like in the figure they are given in data, that also I showed that BEC equals EBC.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
That's
angles
right.
opposite to
Yeah.
equal sides of isolation. So I named those two as X
Yeah.
to
Each
keep
has
it
X,
as
no? Okay.
yes. And I named ABE as Y.
A what?
ABE.
AB is a Y. Okay.
So then I got Y plus X plus 90 degrees equals 180.
Correct.
So then Y plus X equals 90 degrees because
Y
180 minus
plus
90.
X. Okay. Can you go back to the previous step that you mentioned?
I mentioned that Y plus X plus 90 degrees equals 180.
Okay, so Y plus X plus 90 degrees. How did you get that?
So since
Because
AB,
according to you, this is Y and this whole thing is X, right?
yes, so
Okay.
that is 90 degrees. So if I add another 90 degrees, it will be 180.
All right. Okay. In that sense, okay. All right. Then,
So then I find out that Y plus X equals 90 degrees.
yeah. ඒක දැන් මෙතනින් ගන්නත් පුළුවන් අපිට. Because this is the big angle is 90 degrees. So, අර step එක අපිට avoid කරලා කෙලින්ම ගන්නත් පුළුවන් X plus Y 90 degrees. But okay, good approach. Then, what's the next step?
So then Y will be equal to 90 minus X.
Y will be equal to 90 minus X. Okay.
So then I find that ABE equals
90
EBC.
minus,
X.
sorry, AB 90 minus X. Yes, that's correct. Then what's the next step? Did you do further than that?
With that because those two are equal, EBD will also be 90 minus X. If we take it as Y.
How can, okay, so up to this point, great. Y is 90 minus X, good approach. But මෙයාව කොහොමද equal උනේ?
So since X is there and
This is this whole thing, right?
yeah, so BEP equals X. BP
equals
BEP.
X, this is X, okay.
And then VPE is 90 degrees.
Correct. So මේ triangle එක අරගත්තොත් 90 minus X එනවා නේ? Correct.
Yes.
Good. That's a very good approach. So, මේ වගේ question එකක there's like a lot of thinking that you have to do. Even though answer itself is not like too long, අපි ගත්තොත් in I think one of the previous, if you look at this one, it's quite a lengthy answer. But මෙතන ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් දිග answer එකක් නෙවෙයි එන්නේ. However, with like long or short, to write the answer, you need to see things properly. එතකොට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට using symbols like X and Y is a very good approach. So I saw Ismailge, you used may question එකනේ? No. To this question, you have used X and Y, and that has shortened the question a lot. So which is quite good. So here, make කරන කොහොමත්ම algebraic symbols දාන්න නැතුව කරන්න මාරම අමාරුයි. Then it will be super long. So it's always better in a case like this to use algebraic symbols. හරිද? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන් කොහොම කරාද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. I only got one answer. I have another answer in the chat box. CBE angle plus 90 plus BAC. BCE, right? BCE plus BAC plus 90 is 180. Okay, so that's a big triangle. Then what's the next step? Metana, then Mama initially before I asked you, I was actually going to just do the question. No? So when I was doing the question, I thought make it x dal in relative to that to put like write everything else in terms of x. But now that we discussed Ismail's answer, I think x and y dane ka awulak nahi. Ek hondai. Right. So since I only got one answer, others also have the opportunity to tell me your answer. But for now, I only got one answer. So based on that, I will discuss the question. Okay. All right. So big triangle. Okay. Okay. So see, then one very, very important thing, if you're introducing an algebraic symbol, you have to write what it is. Now, in this particular case, meat x කියලා දැම්මා and meat x because these are anyways equal, no? CBE and CEB are equal. ඒ දෙනවා තමයි x කියලා දැම්මා. එහෙනම් මම වෙනම step එකක් ලියන්න ඕනේ කාටද මම x දැම්මේ. X equals CBE and CEB. That's very important when you're using symbols, huh? Algebraic symbols. And අපි y දැම්මේ මෙන්න මෙයාට. Matter y them. So ABE is y. Okay. So මෙතන අපිට පේනවා, let's write step by step here. This entire part is x. This part is y. They together make this right angle, right? So x plus y makes this right angle. So මම එක මෙහෙම ලියන්නම්. CBE plus ABE equals 90. Ogantu unaliyan complementary adjacent angles, which is a term that you learned when you were young. Just complementary adjacent angles, do you all remember? When two angles are in contact with each other, and when you add, if they become 90 degrees, we call them complementary adjacent angles. When two angles are in contact with each other, and when you add those two, 180, we call them supplementary adjacent angles. I think that was in grade 9, if I remember right. So, මෙතන මේ දෙන එකතු වුණාම 90 හැදෙනවා. So, CBE is, we know, x. ABE is y. So, from this, we can get the understanding that x plus y equals 90 degrees. All right. Then, let's look at the x plus y can made in 90 degrees. That is all good. A can y here, what I can get is that y equals this x, when you bring it to other side, it becomes minus, right? So 90 minus x. Y I can write as 90 minus x. Okay. Then let's look at this particular, y can ABE, yeah? Y can ABE. Y is 90 minus x. Therefore, ABE is 90 minus x. Like that. Now, if you consider this triangle, if you consider this triangle, I'll use a different color for that. We have EBD plus EDB plus BED. BED කියන්නේ BEC ම තමයි. BED කියන්නේ BEC ම තමයි. So BED.
Yes, I had an issue. That's why I got late to join. Yes.
It's okay, Shanaz. You will have to watch the recording for the previous bit. We're still discussing homework in triangles too.
Sorry, miss.
No worries,
I
it's
have
okay.
to go to the hospital.
All
That's
right,
why.
okay. All right, Shanaz, then request Miss Divya to send you the recording.
Okay,
Yeah,
miss.
ELMIs, I mean, some of you are in the science class, so I'll just tell it here. EL classic recording is upload karna hai. So if any of you are who's here now, who also comes to the science class, if you requested the recording and didn't get it, you will be getting it tomorrow. Just letting you all know. So here, sum of interior angles of a triangle. EBD. EBD කියන්නේ මෙන්න මෙයා. එයා මම EBD විදිහටම තියන්නම්. එයාට XY මුකුත් නැහැනේ. So EBD. Plus EDB. EDB is 90 degrees. All right. BED. BED is X. Right. Equals 180. So EBD equals 180. This 90, when you bring to the other side, it becomes minus 90. This X, when you bring it to the other side, it becomes minus X. So EBD equals 180 minus 90 is 90. 90 minus X. So ABE is mamara 1 kila dammot. ABE is 90 minus X. EBD is also 90 minus X. So then number 90 minus X in the 1 is equal to 2. 1 to them in a third command, you can write. Therefore, ABE equals EBD. ABE can measure, EBD can measure. From that, we can say, therefore, ABD is bisected by PE. That is what they are asking us to prove. Antima A sentence is a statement. Is that clear, Lami? Okay, so now we are slowly getting introduced to using algebraic symbols. එතකොට පුළුවන් තරම් symbols අඩුවෙන් use කරන්න try කරන්න, but it's okay, you can use as many. But now let's say for a question like this, if I use like 3 4 x y z mk letters ගොඩක් use කරොත් no point, I don't need that many letters. So මේ වගේ question එකක් කරන්න, you can either use one algebraic symbol like x වගේ මොනවා හරි, නැත්නම් you can use two. In this particular case we have used two. When you're using algebraic symbols, number one, don't overuse. Number two, always introduce what you're using at the top, right? And also, ඔයා මොන algebraic term එක use කරත් අන්තිමට හරි angles වල නම් ටික දාන්න අන්තිමට. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes to 2 or 3 minutes to do recorrections, and we'll move on to the rest of it. Make it fast. All right, my time is up. Um, so we have one more little theorem to learn. It's more or less the same thing. Put the topic converse of the theorem on isosceles triangles. Right with me. All right, Lama. So what this means is arakim opposite. Isosceles triangle, like you know the two sides are equal. So angles opposite to the two sides are also equal. But if you take the opposite of that, you just have a triangle. We don't know whether it's an isosceles triangle, but we know that two angles are equal. If two angles are equal, we can say, make it opposite sides equal. Okay. So let me show you an example. So let's say we have a triangle like this. Let's label this as PQR. So they have given that this angle and this angle are equal, right? PQR equals PRQ. That is given. Na ඒගොල්ලන් දීලා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් අපිට theorem එකෙන් කියන්න පුළුවන් if in a triangle if two angles are equal the sides opposite to the two angles are also equal. For an example, මෙයාට opposite side එක මෙයා. That is this. මේ angle එකට opposite side එක මෙයා. එහෙනම් these two sides are also equal. Arakema opposite එක, as I said. Okay. So we can say therefore PR equals or PQ equals PR. The reason we write, excuse me, Lamai. For the reason we write, sides opposite to equal angles in a triangle. Is this clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you? Lamai, give me a thumbs up. Okay, all right. So can you all quickly draw the diagram? Let's straight away hop on to a question and then we can finish this lesson and go to inverse proportions. And can you all try question exercise 9.3, question number 5. May question ku itara copy in class try karamu. The rest we can do as homework because we need to do at least one question during the class. Once we discuss this, we can of course move on to inverse proportions. Inverse proportions again is not a very difficult lesson. However, of course, we have to do a lot of questions. Okay, this is exercise 9.3. All right, make it fast. Quickly do.
Miss,
Yes, Shanaz.
Miss, I have a connection problem. When I get disconnected, I cannot like join to the link about like 5 minutes. So can you please send me the record? I'll just leave the class, and can you please put me as half, like
Partially present, right?
half present?
Yes, I'll let Miss Divya know that, and I'll. Can you also drop a message on WhatsApp request in the recording? Because Miss Divya might
Yes, miss.
forget. I'll
Because
let her know as
here
well.
is a heavy rain, miss.
Right. Okay. Yes, I understand. Because he also a little before the class started, it was heavily raining, so I was quite worried that I might not be
Thank you,
able to do the
miss.
class. But yeah, okay, noted. Others, I'll give you like 2 more minutes.
Thank you, miss.
All right, Shanas. Tama, have you all finished? Give me a thumbs up if you have finished, Lamai. Okay. Stephanie has finished. Ismail has finished. Maria, one more minute. Okay, what about others? Alia, Basma, Jevindu, Kushit, Zuha. Alia done. Kushit done. Jevindu done. Zuha done. Okay. I'll wait one more minute and then we'll start the discussion. All right. The point D lies on the side AC of the figure such that BAD equals BAD equals DBA. One second, Lamai. Okay, sorry. Point D lies on AC of the figure such that BAD, okay, they have marked it, BAD equals DBA. Also, ABC is 90, they have marked that as well. Prove that DBC equals DCB. DBC can mea, DCB can mea. Okay. So we have to prove that these two are equal. Okay. So first of all, we can see that these two angles are equal. If these two angles are equal, sides opposite to the two angles also should be equal. Therefore, this side and this side will be equal, right? That is what we can instantly see. So, BAD is equal to DBA, which they have given. Then, therefore, AD equals BD. So for the reason, now this is the theorem that we just learned. For the reason you can say sides opposite to equal angles in a triangle. Opposite, right? Okay. Then what is my next step? What should be my next step? Now, yes, Basma.
Showing that ABC plus say BCA and ACB equals to 180, and that B is equal to 90 degrees, making BAC plus BAC plus BCA equals to 90 degrees.
Yeah. Yes, I think so. I think what the answer makes sense. Ekam chuttak shortcut with algebraic symbol same thing, we can make it a little shorter. So we know that BAD and BAD and DBA equal. So may they are x. So if I put them as x and x, So I told you whenever I introduce an algebraic symbol, I have to put the, introduce that letter. X equals BAD plus, sorry, BAD and DBA both is X, right? Because they're anyways equal. Then balanda, if you look at this particular case, right? DBA plus DBC, DBC can be equals 90 degrees. Because we can see that may then 90 degrees 90-degree angle. So we, for reason, you can write complementary adjacent angles. So DBA is equal to X, DBC, I don't know, equals 90. So DBC equals 90 minus X. DBC equals 90 minus X. Then if you consider the big triangle, this big triangle gattut ehema, triangle ABC, right? ABC plus BAC plus DCB equals 180. Reason you can write sum of interior angles of a triangle. ABC is 90 degrees. BAC here is X. DCB we don't know. Equals 180. So DCB equals 180. This 90, when I bring it to this side, it becomes minus 90. This X, when I bring it to this side, it becomes minus X. So DCB equals 180 minus 90 is 90. So 90 minus X. So DBC is 90 minus X. DCB is also 90 minus X. So if I label this as equation 1 and this as equation 2, these are equal. So DBC. May godakar 1 and 2 kila dan reason එක when you are going ahead with the question doing. At some point, you just write something that you wrote about 10 lines before. එතකොට exam එක confuse වෙනවානේ. But 1, 2 em ka label kala තියෙදි okay 1. So the examiner can go up and see where 1 is. And then this is 1. Now that is what the student is meaning kila. It's easy for them to understand. That's why. DBC equals DCB. Okay, good. If DBC equals අපිට ඒක තමයි මුලින් prove කරන්න තියෙන්නේ නේ. Okay. So we are still in Roman number 1, right? Do you all understand that DBC equals DBC equals DCB? That story, did you understand? All right. So and this is also 90 minus X. Now, since this angle and this angle are equal, we can say the sides opposite to them are equal. Therefore, DB equals DC. Therefore, we can say directly DB equals DC. Reason is sides opposite to equal angles in a triangle. Now, initially we said AD equals, initially we said AD equals DB, right? Now we say DB equals DC. So if AD equals DB and DB equals DC, that means AD is equal to DC, right? You can say therefore, we can label this as equation number 3. And this is equation number 4. Therefore, equation number 3 is equal to 4. I then give me DB now. AD equals DC කියලා කියන්නේ if this is equal to this, that means D is the midpoint of AC. Therefore, D is the midpoint of AC. Is that clear, Lamai? Others? Okay. So, can you all do the recorrections in 2 minutes so that we can then move to inverse proportions? Okay, Lamai. Now, can you all mark the homework? In exercise 9.3, what we did was the 5th one, right? Can you do 8, 9, 10? Exercise 9.3, 8, 9, 10. This is the homework. And put the topic inverse proportions. All right. Inverse proportions. Before inverse proportions, actually, we already know something called direct proportions. What that means is, let's say for an example, let's just take an example to make a cake. I'm not very sure about proportions because I am not very familiar with making cakes. But Mamanika roughly kiyanna to make a cake. We need to mix 250 grams of butter with how much flour do we have to mix for 250 grams of butter? I would suppose maybe the same amount. 250 grams of, let's say 100 grams of butter with 200 grams of sugar. This is a certain cake. Okay. Then if I'm using 500 grams of butter, how much sugar do I need to use? Is this a question? Can you all tell me the answer to this?
600 grams.
Others? Others, what do you think? Well, I'm not here. What is it, Kushik?
At 1 kilogram of sugar.
Okay, Basma says 1 kilogram. Kushik, what did you say?
1,000.
1,000. Okay. Okay. Then others, what do you think? So yes, in order to make this cake, we have to mix 100 grams of butter with 200 grams of sugar. If I'm increasing the number of butter to 500 grams, balanna, then metana, butter to sugar ratio එක මොකක්ද? 1:2, right? Butter to sugar ratio is 1:2. Therefore, if I'm using 100 grams of butter, I have to use 200 grams of sugar. In the same manner, if I'm using 500 grams of butter, ඒ වගේ double. That means 1,000 grams or 1 kg of sugar I have to use. What if this is Roman number 1, Roman number 2. If I only have 75 grams of butter, in order to make this type of cake, how much sugar do I need? Thank you, Anaban. What do you think? Now I only have 75 grams of butter. Then how much sugar do I need to make this cake? Quickly tell Lamani. Okay, I'm getting answers in the chat box. Good. So same thing ne, butter to sugar ratio ek 1:2, right? So because for 100 grams of butter we need 200 grams of sugar, means it's 1:2. Then if I only have 75 grams of butter, I have to use double that amount in sugar. 75 times 2 is 150. Then I have to use 150 grams of sugar. Am I still lagging? Or can you all hear me?
You can hear us.
All right. Did you all understand this? Okay. Now these are called, this is not inverse proportions. Huh? These are actually direct proportions. So these we call them direct proportions. I direct proportions කියලා කියන්නේ if one quantity increases by a certain amount, by a certain ratio, other quantity also increases by that same ratio. In this particular instance, now butter isala use kare 100 grams. Then now I'm increasing the amount of butter 5 times. 5 times increase karna. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? Sugar amount එකත් I have to increase 5 times. Okay. So here I'll change this question slightly just to show you something. Then if you take this particular instance, we know the butter to sugar 1:2. In the question, they used 100 grams of butter and 200 grams of sugar, right? Now if I'm using 50 grams of butter, we know I have to use 100 grams of sugar. So here the amount of butter is decreased by 2 divided by 2. එහෙනම් sugar amount එකත් A ratio එකෙන්ම අඩු වෙනවා. So in direct proportions, when we have two quantities, these two quantities increase by the same ratio. Also, they decrease by the same ratio. This is direct proportions. Did you all understand that, Lamai? Okay, so if we write, Ogalan then to me example question clear gonna be. I hope you can see the board. This is not our lesson yet, but still it's important that you understand direct proportions before we learn about inverse proportions. So quickly write this, make it fast. All right, others also done? Have all of you finished? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right. So now inverse proportions are like this. Inverse proportions will be, it's now here, if one is increasing by a certain ratio, the other quantity is also increasing by the same ratio, right? So just like that, when one quantity is decreasing, the other quantity is also decreasing by the same ratio. However, in inverse proportions, if one quantity is increasing by a certain ratio, the other quantity is decreasing by that same ratio. Opposite effects. If one quantity is decreasing by a certain ratio, the other quantity is increasing by the same ratio. So let's look at some examples. අපි මේකත් question එකක් විදිහටම බලමු to understand the concept. In a camp, there is food packets enough for 8 people for 3 days. Let's say, one second. Without saying that, let's say, in a preschool, children are given 1 chocolate every day. හැමදාම එක chocolate එකක් ගන්න දෙනවා. There are enough chocolates. There are chocolates enough for 8 children for 3 days in the stock. And stock එකේ 8 children වලට 3 days වලට ඇති වෙන chocolate තියෙනවා. Okay? If the number of children increase up to 12 children, for how many days will the chocolates be enough? This is one question. If the number of children decrease up to 6 children, for how many days will the chocolates be enough? Okay. Now, in a preschool, children are given 1 chocolate every day. So, දවසට එකයි දෙන්නේ. Then, කොහමරි මේ preschool එකේ there are chocolates enough for 8 children for 3 days. ළම 8 දෙනෙකුට දවස් 3කට ඇති වෙන chocolate තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ how many chocolates are there all together? How many chocolates are all together? That means
24.
yes. For 8 children, දවසට එක ගාන දෙනවා, and we have to give for 3 days. Then how many chocolates are there? 24, right? So for 8 children, 3 days then there has to be 24 chocolates. All right. Now, this is what happens. So, 8 children ලට 3 days වලට ඇති වෙන්න chocolate තියෙනවා. Okay, good. Now what happens is, now the number of children have increased up to 12 children. Now for how many days will this chocolate be enough?
2 days.
Yes. Why? Because now 12 children are there. We only have 24 chocolates. 24 chocolates, ළමයි 12ට දුන්නොත් එහෙම we can only sustain for 2 days. Because first day you give 12 chocolates, then 12 remaining, you have to give the 12 next day. So if there's only 8 children, we can manage for 3 days with 24 chocolates. But if we have 12 children, we can only manage for 2 days. All right. Now let's look at this instance. Again, we start with 8 children. We think it's 8 children, 3 days, right? But now the number of children has decreased to 6 children. Now for how many days is the chocolate remaining will be enough?
4 days.
Yes, because now we have 24 chocolates. First day hayak denawa 18 remaining, second day hayak denawa 12 remaining, third day hayak denawa 6 remaining, and fourth day denawa. So we can manage for 4 days now. Good. Is that clear so far? Is it clear to all of you? Others? Okay. බලන්න මෙතන, the most important thing that we have to understand is, here the number of children has increased by 1.5. Increased by a ratio of 1.5. 18 to 1.5 is 12, right? Is that a little confusing? So 18 to 1.5 is 12, right? Did you get it? I hope I didn't confuse it. So here, 1.5 multiplied by 8, right? 8 times 5 is 40. 4 remaining, 8 times 1 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. With the decimal point, it's 12. So number of children has increased by a ratio of 1.5. But what has happened to the days? Number of days has decreased by a ratio of 1.5. May increase by a ratio of 1.5. Increase by a ratio of 1.5. මෙතන එතකොට number of days මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? Decrease by a ratio of 1.5. So decrease by a ratio of 1.5 means divide වෙනවා. So 3 when you divide by 1.5 you will get 2. Is that clear, Laman? Up to that point, is it clear to everybody? බලන්න මෙතන direct proportions වගේ නෙවෙයි. direct වල එක්කෙනෙක් එක ratio එකකින් වැඩි වෙනකොට අනිත් එක්කෙනාත් වැඩි වෙනවා. එක්කෙනෙක් අඩු වෙනකොට අනිත් එක්කෙනාත් අඩු වෙනවා. Here, when one quantity, which is children, is increasing by a ratio of 1.5, the other quantity, which is number of days, is decreasing by the same ratio, 1.5. Ratio is the same, but one is increasing, other is decreasing. Now look at this one. Here now the number of children is decreasing. Now the number of children is decreasing by a ratio of what? It's a little complicated. The 1.33 gana kena. Not very good. Like this. Here also let me change this slightly. Now the number of children has decreased by a ratio of 2. 8 2 can divide on how many 4 in it? So this has decreased by a ratio of 2. But look at the number of days. Number of days have increased by a ratio of 2. देखिए मैं तीनों chocolates भी सिखाता रहा, right? Both instances we're talking about 24 chocolates. So here when the number of children, when one quantity which is number of children is decreasing by a certain ratio, the other quantity which is the number of days is increasing by the same ratio which is 2. This is inverse proportions. Is this clear to all of you? Please give me a thumbs up again. All right. Can you all quickly write this first and then we can write the definition of inverse proportions. First write this. Lamai, while you write this, please give me 2 minutes. Huh? I'll write the definition of inverse proportions below as well. As you write this, once you're done writing, you can also write that. Definitions you don't have to memorize. Huh? Please don't waste energy on that. write this definition as well. Huh? All good, Lame? I'll give you 2 more minutes. 1 more minute, 2 more minutes. Have you all finished? So next week, we are going to finish inverse proportions, and we are also going to finish 11th lesson, data representation, because they're both are extensive calculations and discussions that shouldn't have. You know how geometry is, right? So it's not like geometry. So we are going to finish 10 and 11 lessons, and then in the following day, we can do 12 lesson is super short. All right. Can we start doing questions? Okay, I'll give you 1 more minute. Lamai. I think this is enough time, no? Shall we continue? Okay. Now we are going to start doing questions. We are going to start with one question and a question solve karna mama methods keepaya kiya denawa. Here I'll tell you the method that is most widely used and they will ask in papers mostly. Okay, write example kiyala question ekak damu. Example 1. It's the same question as on the textbook. Huh? So there's a particular task which takes five men will need 8 days to complete that task. So we can have an idea about the size of the task, right? Minisu 5 denek 8 days වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ තරමේ task එකක් තියෙනවා. If we increase the number of men by 10 men, how many days will we need කියන එක තමයි අහන්නේ. This is a very simple question. Usually inverse proportion questions are a little bit more advanced than this. But we'll of course start with something simple. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you method number 1. Method 1. Method 1 එකේ වෙන්නේ you first list your quantities. Number of men is one of the quantities. Number of men එක quantity එකක් නෙනේ. අනිත් quantity එක තමයි number of days. This is the other quantity. Okay. Then we are going to list. So if it was 5 men, they will require 8 days. If it is 10 men, how much time will they require is what they're asking. How many days? X. Okay. Then if we represent this as a ratio, 5:10, මෙයාගේ 8:x නෙවෙයි x:8. මේක දෙපැත්ත මාරු කරලා තමයි දාන්න because inverse proportions නේ. Direct proportions වගේ එකම ratio එකෙන් දාන්න නැහැ දෙන්න මාරු කරලා දාන්න. This is 5:10. මෙයාගේ 8:x නෙවෙයි x:8. Okay. Then ratio එකක් අපි fraction එකක් කරන්නේ කොහොමද? Just ඒකම fraction එකක් විදිහට convert කරනවා. So 5/10 equals x/8. නැත්නම් ඔයාලට කෙලින්ම මේක ratio එක skip කරලා we can straight away write fraction. 5/10. Here 8/x නෙවෙයි we have to exchange and write x/8. This is x/8. Then we do cross multiplication. So we have 10 multiplied by x equals මේ පැත්තේ 5 multiplied by 8. When we have two fractions separated by an equal sign, we can do cross multiplication. දෙපැත්තට cross එකක් විදිහට multiply කරන්න පුළුවන්. 5 you can multiply by 8. 10 you can multiply by x. Then we divide both sides by 10. 10 cancel වෙනවා. So here x equals 5 times 8 is 40. 40 divided by 10 is 4 days. This is method number 1. Is this clear to all of you, Lamai?
Miss, I have a question.
Sorry, Ismail?
Why do we switch the x and 8?
That is because now direct proportions now we can write as it is 5/10 and 8/x. Because in direct proportions, when one quantity is increasing, other quantity is also increasing. Same ratio. But we're talking about inverse proportions. Ekkenek increase වෙනකොට අනිත් එකේන decrease වෙන්නේ. So if we want to match the ratio, we have to exchange one quantity. If this is 5/10, this should be x/8, not 8/x. Because it's inverse proportions. Direct proportions now, we can say 5/10 equals 8/x. Then 5 මෙයත් වැඩි වෙනවා. But since this is inverse proportions, here 5/10 නම් මෙයාව මාරු කළා that should be x/8. because මෙයා වැඩි වෙනකොට මෙයා අඩු වෙනවා. Okay, Ismail?
Okay.
Okay. Is this clear, others? This is method 1. Can you all quickly write method 1 because we are running out of time also. Method 1 එක මුලින් ලියන්නකෝ ඉක්මනට. Method 2 and the rest of it we'll discuss the next day. Let me know if you're done with this. All right. So I heard that some of you have requested whiteboard notes, and I think I have forgotten to send whiteboard notes of certain days. කාට හරි පුළුවන් නම් මට list එකක් එවන්න which whiteboard notes you want, which I have not sent in the group. March, April හරි කමක් නැහැ. Just I would really appreciate it so that I can search for that exact date and send you that particular note. Even if that's not the case, I can also ask Miss Divya to do it. Let's see. ඔගන්නෙම specific date එකක් තියෙනවා නම් WhatsApp එකේ දාලා තියන්න. Then I'll ask Miss Divya to coordinate. And also, we will be meeting next week on 20th of May. And also, one more thing is that on 28th of May, there's going to be, for now, it's a tentative date. I can make a full confirm now, but most probably. So, එදාට අපි free seminar එකක් කරනවා for science. There, I think I told those of you who were present yesterday. It's a free science seminar where we revise all the lessons from the first lesson to the 7th lesson in science. So before the seminar, we will be sharing a question sheet, like a paper with you. So it would be better if you do the paper and come to the seminar. So we will be discussing that paper, and we will be doing a revision from the previous lessons on that seminar day. It's free, it's open for everyone. You can join, you can also ask your friends to join.
Please, when is it?
It's for now, the tentative date is 28th of May, which is the Hajji date. I'm not sure if you will, do you all have festivities or ceremonies in the morning?
Yes, yes.
Teacher, actually, it's given as a government holiday.
Sorry, Basma?
The festival, the first day is actually a government holiday. As I
28th, right?
remember. Yeah. Yeah.
So in the morning, do you all have any ceremonies or anything as such for Hajji?
Ceremony, yeah, it's morning, most all of them, but yeah, and but there are divisions. That's all.
Right. So Zu also said that there are morning rituals. Abi balemu. I'll check. Then we have, I think, 30th or so is the Vesak day. The only problem is that 30th it's a Vesak day. I wouldn't mind doing a seminar on that day, but unfortunately it's a Saturday, right? Saturday the classes goda poet holidays වලට cancel කරන්න ගොඩක් teachers කරනවා. So I'm not really sure of that possibility, but I'll check. Anyhow, for any of those who might not be able to make it, if we are holding the seminar on 28th, that is, I told you it's not confirmed yet, all the recordings will definitely be shared. But again, I will talk with Miss Divya and others, and I'll check and finalize, and I'll let you all know. All right, then let's wrap up. Let's see each other next week, 20th of May. Until then, have a great week and do the homework and come. Yes, Monday, it's 9.3. That's the only homework you have to do. And see you next week, Lamai. Good night.
Thank you and good night, teacher.
Good night.